Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships. And yes, I'm a little behind on things. I finally got up to the tier 9 Brindisi. I don't believe I have her fully upgraded. I think I only have her whole upgrade. If memory serves me. But we finally have the tier 9. And yes, I know with the oncoming British heavy cruisers, I should actually be talking about those. But I want to at least get this out of the way, just so I can get caught up a little bit. And I completely forgot to turn off my phone. I am joined with a div mate of mine, a clan mate, Demo, in the Friesland. And this is probably one of my best battles, which is really sad to say. I hate to say it, but I mean, as a lot of you viewers are aware, I'm not a big fan of the Italian cruiser lines. They have certain aspects I really like. I like the maneuverability. I like that moving smoke. The guns, especially on the Brindisi, they can hit hard. They are very flat trajectory, so they go to target relatively easy, which is fantastic against enemy destroyers. But obviously, there's a few things I'm just not a fan at all. In this match, it is a light tier 10, only a couple cruisers and a carrier. Which is not something a Brindisi wants to see. Brindisi is not really a great AA boat. Misjudged that shot right there, but fortunately for our team, we're going to at least get that Fletcher. No big real surprise there. I think really what kind of hampers my opinion on the Italian cruisers is the damage is just, it's average. As I've talked about over and over again, just like that lightning felt 8,000 off his health, damage against light cruisers and against destroyers, fantastic. It just rips right through them, does substantial amount of damage. Battleships, it's hit and miss. Sometimes you'll get those really nice damage numbers, but other times it's either ricochets or broken shells. Yes, the Brindisi, I'm so mispronouncing this, and the Venezia, they both have the capability of punching through the bow armor of battleships and pinning that way. So there are some aspects that kind of works for it, to say the very least. Now, one little side note is this captain is going to be the special Italian captain. So it's a little foreshadowing, I guess. Now, the ship's not particularly stealthy, 12.2 kilometers. Not the worst compared to any of the other tier 9 cruisers, but definitely not the greatest. You're not sneaky, you don't have hydro. It's a very selfish ship. Maybe you can use that smoke for your benefit, but that's really hit and miss just because how fast the Brindisi. And the Brindisi's, it's a fast ship, getting up to about 38, 39 knots with the speed flag. So it's a very fast ship, and it's very, very nimble. It has a very tight rudder shift time, or rudder shift. And turning circle radius, that's what I meant to say. It has a very tight turning circle radius. Even for such a long boat, and it's a very long boat, it's a very big ship and doesn't have any armor, so you really do have to be careful when dealing with any other large caliber ships such as battleships and heavy cruisers. So don't want to always be showing that broadside. You do have to be careful of placing your salvos. Got a decent hit there, 5,000. Whenever shooting battleships and even some cruisers, you want to be aiming at that superstructure. That's where you will get the most amount of your damage. So it was really, really beneficial. Now, unfortunately, for the fact that the smoke, it obviously is a two-folder. They can't see me, and I currently can't see the Missouri. Now, the firing penalty on the Brindisi is 9.7 kilometers, so definitely you don't want to be too close. This is very much a ship that is going to be long range, and it works. Is a great mid-range to long-range cruiser, keeping that distance, shooting out every salvo. And obviously the major downside of the Brindisi compared to all other tier 9 cruisers is it is a horrendously slow reload of about 18 seconds. So it does take some time pumping out those salvos. At least you do have a decent amount of guns. That is 12 guns going down range. But sap shells are finicky. There's only that alpha damage. So that's by far what I kind of complain about the Italian line, is the fact that you don't have any potential dot damage. You don't have a way to help deal overtime damage. So besides obviously your torpedoes, which let's actually talk about the torpedoes. 13.5 kilometer torpedoes, which is just absolutely insane. I find it hilarious, and I have had instances where those torpedoes actually work and actually land on target. They don't do a lot. They don't also do, forgive the sirens. Okay. Sorry about that silence. I probably figured you guys did not want to listen to a siren going off in the background. But did try a AP salvo against that rune. Yes, the rune does have turtleback armor, but only up close, so shells could have penetrated, but we didn't really get that much damage, so I did just switch over to the sap shells. Try to do it that way, because honestly, your AP, it's finicky. It can work. It can do citadels. I'm not saying that. It's a little bit more finicky. It seems like it does have a bit more of an issue doing that. Now, obviously, one downside of these very fast trajectory shells is it does make it difficult to actually get them over islands such as I am. But fortunately, I think we're just enough away, and there is that little divot there that we're able to do it. But once again, not a very stealthy cruiser, which does mean that she can't always hide. Do manage to get a citadel, get a kill, and there's our very first captain skills, which is an increase to range for a kill on target. I believe that gave me about a kilometer additional. It's about 5% increase to range, something like that. It's not particularly amazing, but it does help. It does make you a little bit more capable at dealing with targets at a much longer range. So torpedoes, once again, they don't really hit hard. They do have a very nice range, but obviously due to the fact that they're extraordinarily slow, they're not particularly amazing. So that's essentially the Brindisi in a nutshell. Health is also kind of mid-range. It's not the worst, it's not the greatest. So definitely can work with it, just doesn't have a lot of armor. So this battle, let's actually talk about the battle. This always happens. I always talk about the ship, and you guys are just watching this battle without me talking about anything that's happening. It's actually fairly close. We are very much in the lead in points, nearly 500 plus on the point difference. Enemy team has kind of worked over, and this is the nice thing about the sap shells against light cruisers, as you will see against the Smolensk, salvo off, and Italian cruisers just absolutely wreck a Smolensk. 14,000 points of damage with 9 shells hit, pretty decent. Probably could have tried AP, and that's kind of the downside is if you do use AP and your salvo doesn't really do much damage, it's not particularly great because you're shooting a salvo and you're doing no damage, and once again your reload is quite terrible, so you're better off just using sap quite a bit. Not saying never always, but quite a bit you want to be using that sap shells. And there we go. Second talent is Desperate of Resistance, which I believe increases increases the action time on your consumables. So you have your consumables for longer, which is great for your smoke. But obviously our smoke has already been used. But that's pretty good, pretty nice. There is obviously a Fletcher not too far away. Captain skills, I do recommend RPF, or radio position finding, yeah, or RPF, because, well, it's also really nice to know where a destroyer is. As you did kind of see there, we knew where it was. Earn Confederate, and Confederate skill is actually really super nice because it really helps the Italian cruiser line with their very slow reload. It drops the reload time by a couple seconds, so it just makes it a little bit more viable. So actually managed to earn all 3 of my captain's special skills, which is not something you get to do very, very often, especially Confederate is not a particularly easy award to actually achieve, but is possible, especially with the Italian cruiser lines. With just their very slow reload, it does take some manner of luck, I want to say. It does take a little bit of luck just for you to get that skill off. So, obviously, enemy team not doing so hot. Their midway is spotted. There's still the Yoshino, which I believe is going to manage to kind of help them bring back some points. Taking on a Wooster. Yoshino hits hard, but obviously Wooster has a better salvo. And Hakuryu takes out the enemy Yoshino. And am I just that bad at guessing on that? It does look like it. So, yeah. Once again, Brindisi, it feels like she does better than the Amalfi. Amalfi felt better than the Zara. Zara felt better than the tier 6. It's just it's very ever so slight improvement, which is nice, but it's not my most favorite line, that's for sure. So going to be ending this off very quickly. We do, I believe, get a second kill, and all that's left on the enemy team is the midway there, and it's going to go down relatively quickly. So kind of a quick look at the Italian Brindisi. Still kind of meh, but that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Gen.